Hey guys, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're really excited to hang out with you and to have you be part of our community. If you like what you see here, here's a couple ways you can support the channel. We always appreciate super chats very much, but here's a couple other ways you can support the channel and get something in return other than just content. If the super chat feature doesn't work for you, or if you're watching after the live stream, Jared's PayPal account link is listed below. Any donation of any amount is greatly appreciated. Since the show is sponsored in part by Motor City Guitar, we've included an affiliate link below. By clicking the link below, everybody wins. You're getting a great deal on some awesome equipment, you're supporting a store that has tons of inventory and great customer service, and you're supporting Tone Wars. And on top of all of that, if you live outside of the state of Michigan, whenever you buy anything from Motor City Guitar, you don't pay any sales tax. And last but certainly not least, you can visit our website at tonewars.com. The link is below. There you will find some awesome Kemper profile packs with the tone and feel guitar players love. You will also find presets for the very popular Helix, HX Effects, HX Stomp, and Pod Go. Alright, the show's about to begin. We look forward to hanging out with you, so grab your favorite drink and join us in the live chat.
Welcome to Tone Wars. What's happening, everybody? Wow, what a morning it's been. Getting all this stuff dialed in and figured out. I had to change the thumbnail. Hope you guys noticed that. Sorry, I wasn't able to cover every single thing that I had intended on covering because I had a long day yesterday, and all the time that I had allocated to dialing in all that stuff was spent with me washing houses and trucks. So my day got longer than I expected. So I didn't have the time. So I will be doing videos about those other topics. They'll be like produced videos that I'll upload. And I figured I'd rather go live with stuff that I can actually talk about and present properly, rather than do a half-cocked job on the other stuff. So I hope you guys don't mind, but the new stuff will be coming, other topics like the polyphonic tuning, which I'll just touch on that real quick. I'm getting a weird hum when I talk. I don't know if you guys are hearing that or not, but it's really driving me nuts. As far as the polyphonic tuning is concerned, I think it takes up a lot of DSP. That's one of the things that I noticed right away. So because of that, I'm just guessing. I don't know any of this. I'm just throwing this out there. There's probably going to be an upgraded Helix coming sometime soon with more DSP, or a Helix 2 or a Helix HD, something. That's what I'm thinking, because there's a lot of DSP being soaked up by the polyphonic stuff. And in order for us to be able to do all of the things that we want to do regarding, like, have all our effects and the upgraded amps and all that stuff, we're definitely going to need some more DSP for that, which means I think something's coming, hopefully sometime soon, which will give us that extra memory. You know, it's coffee still for me today. It's my second cup, and I need it because I got like 5 hours of sleep after I put in a super long day. But yeah, so that first track I opened up with, I'm obviously playing the Engl Savage, and the first topic I want to cover today is the precision drive that they modeled for us in the Helix, and I want to see how close it is. And I actually have a patch set up here where I have on snapshot 1 the regular precision drive, the real one, and snapshot 2 is the one that Helix made, or Line 6 made. And I'm going to A/B them for you, and we'll talk about if there's a difference, how close they are, and what I had to do to dial it in to capture the same exact thing that the real pedal is giving me. And just so you know, I did switch between them while I was playing that intro, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So Steve Shaheen just got this update last night. The Horizon Drive. Daryl McMillan, 3.0 is huge. Aaron Lucas, what's happening? Sean Casey, nothing beats an awesome sounding tube amp and Podgo or Helix. Yeah, dude, this thing I was talking to Steve Shaheen last night, and I'm like, I have to get my Engl off the shelf and use it for tomorrow's show, because this amp deserves to be played daily. It's just an absolute beast, you know. Sven, new song. Yes, that's a new mix. That's a new mix that I'll be performing for you guys from now on, here and there. Helix Cabana Boy, what's going on? Daryl McMillan agrees. It's got to be a more powerful Helix on the way. Yeah, there really is, and I don't mean anything that I said is any disrespect towards Line 6 at all. It's just, you know, what they're starting to come to with the polyphonic stuff and other things too. We're starting to see a little bit of the limitations of the Helix. I still think it's awesome. I still think it's, you know, I'm going to use it every day still. But I think if there's ever an excuse for them to come out with Helix 2.0 or whatever, it's now, because that was one of the reasons why I couldn't cover the polyphonic stuff today, because I was running out of DSP on certain things, and I'm like, you know what? Before I do anything with this, I want to find some workarounds and some shortcuts and whatever, so that not only can I talk about the polyphonic stuff, but I can also talk about how to get the most out of your Helix while you're using it as well. So I can do like a twofold kind of episode about it. Jason Taylor, what's happening? He says, I heard the polyphonic pitch takes around 25% of the DSP available. Exactly. And that's no fault of anyone's. It's just, it is what it is, right? It's a very high-end type effect. And, you know, it takes a lot of DSP. And there's, you know, it is what it is. So I think Sean Casey, I want to make sure I say hello to everybody. What's happening? Sven, it sounds fantastic. Engl, made in Germany, make me proud. Thank you. And yeah, channel 4 on this amp, it can do no wrong. Absolutely no wrong at all. All right, so let's get into it. I hope this works. What I did is I pulled up the so in this example here, nope, that's not it. Oh, I gotta scroll up here, bear with me a second. There it is. Okay, so there is the patch that I've dialed in. That's what you're looking at right here. Okay, so as you can see, look at the top. Pull this up. Right up here, Helix. So this is the Helix OD, real OD. So look up there and you'll see when I'm switching between them in the folder at the top, kind of the left side of the screen there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play and see if you can hear the difference, and I'm going to switch between them. I'm going to mute the mic so you can just hear the amp. 1 second. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, I can't hear the difference. I honestly can't. So here are here's the settings right there for you guys. So if you want to screenshot that or whatever, these are the sweet spot settings on the precision drive in the Helix as far as what matches the pedal that I'm using. You know, so I had to dial things in a little bit differently than the actual pedal, but you know, there's reasons for it, and it's no fault of anyone's. It's just when you're modeling things, there's always going to be different tolerances on the pedal that they model compared to the ones that I'm using, and you know, just different things. So if you liked what you heard there, that is exactly how I have it dialed in. Let me pull out of this shot here. So much to keep an eye on today. There we go. I just hope I don't hit a wrong button and everything goes crazy on me. So yeah, I mean that, and honestly, like I can't tell the difference with my hands either. I'm a big hands guy. It's got to feel good. It's got to feel just like the real thing, or else it drives me nuts. And I literally can't tell. Honestly, they nailed it right to the floor. I mean, this is one of the best pedals that they've ever put into the Helix. I've been wanting this pedal for like 3 years now. And I'm so glad that they put it in there, and I'm really glad that they are you know, hooking up the metal dudes. You know, we got 2 new Diezel channels, you know, which is awesome, and we got the Horizon Devices Precision Drive, which is awesome. And not only do we have it, but we don't have the cartoon version of it. We don't have a crappy version of it. We have a really, really good, realistic version of it. And I'm gonna switch my 4-cable method presets that I sell on Marketplace to my version of the Precision Drive. I'll dial it in, and you can rest assured that it will sound and feel exactly like the pedal that I have in front of me. There's zero difference, and if there is a difference, it's like 0.0001, and it's in the who gives a crap category, right? So it literally sounds fantastic. You know, it really does, and it feels great too. And I'm pushing a real amp with it, like real amp being pushed by a digital pedal, and it's pushing it the right way, and it's getting the right feel and the right sonic kind of response. I got no complaints about it. I think it sounds great. So line 6, kudos, great job, freaking nailed it, about as good as it could be nailed. So yeah, that they did a great job on it. I'm real happy with it. And just before I forget too, let me cover the favorites topic real quick. I really love the favorites folder. Let me go back to, got to turn this back on. There we go. Should have worn my glasses. I can barely see this. So there's all my favorites. So I got different pedals dialed in there, and I will, so basically, and that's just for starters this morning, you know. So on the favorites folder, I just dialed in all my effects the way I like them, and I've had them dialed in for a while, so I just renamed them. And here's the thing that's cool. You can actually rename the effects too, so that when you go into your favorites folder, let's say you have a delay. So like if you look down here, I have solo delay, and I have crunch delay. They're 2 different settings, and sometimes they're 2 totally different delays. I'm going to have a mod delay in there sometime soon as well. So, I mean, the great thing about that is the fact that, you know, I can save all these and name them specifically for specific reasons. So if I want to pull up a new patch and start from scratch, I just dial in the amp the way I want, but then I can actually go into my favorites folder and drag and drop all my favorite effects, and I don't have to go, well, which one is this again? I got to look at the settings before I know. No, you don't. You just say, oh, this is my rhythm delay. This is my lead delay. This is my big delay. This is my mod delay. And you can say rhythm mod delay, lead mod delay, you know, yada, yada. You got all the different, different types of, choruses and flangers. You can have a flanger before and after the amp, so you can actually name it flanger before, or front flanger, rear flanger, whatever you want to call it. That sounded weird, but you know what I mean. So, like, you can name everything so you know where to put it in the chain and what snapshot to turn it on and off with, which is amazing. So not only did they give us the favorites folder, but they allowed us to name the effects the way we want to. That makes sense to us. So again, it even saves time. We don't have to collate everything and look at it before we put it somewhere. That is killer. What a great workflow feature. So that, to me, I would say that it's at least one of my top features that they've ever done for us, because again, dialing in stuff on the Helix is very easy and fun, but when you can take out some of the steps and just keep it simple, like what this feature allows you to do, you can't lose with it. It's just an amazing feature. So I'm really glad they did this. So another awesome update that they gave us. I can't say enough good things about it. And also, let me go back to this here. Also, let me say this too. I'm going to be, Frank, if you're watching, hello. And anybody from Line 6, if you're watching, hello. I'm hoping that there's a way I can actually create an effects folder and put it, because you can export these, and put it on Line 6 Marketplace for you guys, because I literally want to do that. I want to create an effects folder so you can just buy all the effects, and you can bank on the fact that they are dialed in to sound perfect in a mix, okay? And you most likely won't have to adjust anything, but if you do, it's only because, you know, your band has different dynamics than what I'm playing with here with my backing tracks. But I use really big drums and big bass and all that kind of stuff, so I make sure that I have them dialed in so that they sound good. And on the streams, they always sound good. When I watch them back, I'm like, yeah, that sits in the mix just like it should. So again, you can buy the pack and put it in your Helix and save them as maybe a separates folder, like a Tone Wars effects folder, and use those as you need them. And again, they're not just effects that I dialed in, and put in a folder. I literally dialed them in and tested them in every live stream that I've ever done, and they've always worked for me. So they'll be a really nice addition to your Helix as well, or your HX Effects or HX Stomp. And the other thing too is, obviously they're tweakable, so you can just tweak them. Or if you're kind of new to effects and you're trying to figure out, like, I wonder what my delay setting should be for a solo or chorus. Well, how does he get that chorus to sound like that dark swirl instead of that washy, sheeny kind of 80s chorus, or whatever? You can actually look at what I did and take notes from it. And not to say that I'm the master of all effects, but I kind of know what I'm talking about to a certain degree, because I've done this for a long time, and I'm a sound engineer, and I also, played in a lot of bands and played on a lot of stages, so I know what, how things should be mixed live, and I have a pretty good ear for that. And I'm not patting myself on the back, I'm just, kind of qualifying myself a little bit here, but I've proven it on the show, like, they always sound good. So even the wah, there's things I did to the wah that's kind of unique, just subtle things, but they matter, so yeah. So anyways, I'll have that available hopefully very soon for you guys. Minimally, I'll have it on the website, and you can just buy it on there if there's not a spot on Marketplace for it, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a spot on Marketplace for it. That would be nuts if they don't have that. Let me catch up to you guys here. Ben Burnett, what's happening, buddy? Paul Smith, how you doing, buddy? He says, sounded good. Thank you. Let's see here. Aaron Lucas, is DSP still a concern when you're doing 4-cable method as it is when you're using Helix as a standalone? That's a great question. It still can be, because if you're going to use, you know, like two effects that take up a lot of DSP, you could run into some issues. Now, 4-cable method, obviously you're deleting the amp and the cab, so there's two pretty big things that you're taking out. So I think with those two big things gone, it'll obviously freeze up more DSP for you, and you can use more stuff. But I still think that there's going to be something coming soon. And again, I don't know anything. No one's told me anything. I'm just guessing, you know. And that's a good thing, right? I mean, hey, new hardware, right? Let's get it. And I think it's going to work out really well. You know, but I will do more testing on that, because I literally, like, I wanted yesterday to be my setup day for the show, and I literally got home at midnight from working. So I was like, I don't have time, you know. So, but when I get into it, I'll figure out how much you can put, you know, in a whatever you call it, a line on the Helix, how many effects you can put in a row on 4-cable method before you run out of room. Let's see, Daryl McMillan says, I heard a rumor that Horizon signed off on the model. Well, you know, well, I know Misha's got some presets, and here's another thing. I didn't, you know, write down I was going to cover this, but I'll just talk about it real quick. When I had Eric Klein on the show, like I don't know, several months ago, I actually suggested that why don't you guys have, like, touring musicians, like actual touring musicians that go out and tour and know what to look for when it comes to effects and sounds and tones and feel and all that stuff. Why don't you have them make presets, as opposed to some of the people that you've been having that, you know, no disrespect to them, but I mean, they're not at the level at some of these other guys. I'll just put it to you that way. And they actually did it. So Misha Mansour's got presets, and so do a bunch of other artists that you can have in here, so at least get an idea what these guys want. So maybe that was kind of like a trade-off thing, right? You know, so and you know what? If I was Misha, I would have signed off on that pedal as well, because I literally can't tell the difference. I mean, they nailed it, you know, and they did a great job, and it's one of the most sought-after overdrive pedals right now, and it's always been a big favorite of mine. I like the KSR Eros as well, but even though I bought the KSR Eros and loved it, I even said I'm never taking my my precision drive off the board, because it's just a great pedal. Why would you remove it? It's awesome. So let's see here. Sven says, Jared, how long do you play guitar, and have you been taught or learned by yourself? Great question. I've played on and off my whole life. I'm 51, so you know, there was like a 15-year span where I didn't even touch it, and because I just got kind of, I don't know, I just didn't play it for a while. And then I started playing again several years ago, and it's been fun ever since. And I took one lesson and never returned, because the guy wanted me to learn theory, and I don't want to do homework, you know. So I just self-taught, you know. I go on YouTube and look up videos. Robert Baker's awesome. He's always got 5 cool riffs or something like that, and I'll take one or all 5 of them and learn them. So yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. So Aaron, let's see here. Jason Taylor. Oh, you guys are okay. I'm just making sure I'm not interrupting conversations here. You're absolute beast on the instrument. Thanks, Ben. Some days I play pretty good, and some days I don't. You know, I mean, I was hoping today would be a good one, and we'll see. The day is young, so, but thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let's see. Jason says, that's awesome, because it eliminates the need for one external pedal and frees up an effects loop. Exactly. Like, I could kind of take my precision drive off the pedal board now and just use, you know, you're right, and use the one that's in the Helix and use it with confidence, because literally I have A-beat it. There's no difference. I mean, there really isn't. And if you go back and screenshot what I had the settings up there, like for instance, all right, let me give you a for instance here. All right, so on the pedal on the floor, I have the attack knob. It's in the 3rd position, but on the Helix version, I have it in the 5th position, which on the pedal is too stringy and thin for my taste. But on the digital version of the pedal, it's exactly the same as the analog position of the pedal, if that makes sense. So 5 on the digital pedal is 3 on the real pedal, if that makes sense. So there are some differences, but it's not a bad thing. It's just, I was talking to Jamie Trevino about this yesterday, and he made a good point. He's like, well, they didn't model your pedal though. They modeled a different one, and there's different tolerances. So that could be the case. Who knows? All I care about is just get me to where I want to go. I don't care what number is sitting on there, as long as it does it and I can A/B it. And I nitpicked the crap out of it. I had my in-ears in, I used it in the room, I made sure my hands were happy, back and forth until I finally just got it to the point where I was like, I can't tell the difference. You know? And the best thing to really do it is do a blind test. Have somebody else switch them for you while you're playing and see if you can tell the difference. And if you can't, there you go. Blind tests are always the best. They're the most revealing. Because a lot of the stuff's in our heads. You know that. Okay, so let's see here. Phoenix Rise just got here. Did they add the precision drive? Yes, they did. It's called the Horizon drive. And I'll tell you, they did a fantastic job on it. It's so good. Hey, Garav. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. What's going on, buddy? Warmcore, what's happening, Jay? Jason Taylor says, also having the precision drive in the Helix means you can control its settings from snapshot to snapshot, rather than having to be stuck with the manual knob settings on the device. You make a great point, and that was something I was thinking of earlier when I was dialing it in, because there's times where you want the gate at a certain level when you're playing rhythm, but when you're playing lead, you don't want that gate there. You want your notes. As you heard, my note died because I had the gate on here on that first song, because I had the gate on too strong on the this has a gate on it too on the amp, and my note died. I'm like, oh, I forgot to adjust that. But you're right, you can adjust that, and you can adjust it so that you can have have it on and off depending on what you want. Have more gain, more push, more tone, tighter, looser, whatever you want per snapshot, which is amazing. And you can't do that on the real pedal. In fact, that brings up an interesting point. Years ago, like when I first got my Horizon, my precision drive, I bought 2. One for rhythm, one for lead, because the gate was getting in my way for lead. So I bought 2 of them. And that's what got me around it. So now you have 30 of them if you want. Just depends on how you want to set them up per snapshot. So yeah, that's a very good point. Very, very good point. So in a way, using the one in the Helix is better because you can adjust it per snapshot. And again, it sounds exactly like it and feels exactly like it. Let's see here. Dust Devil, what's happening? He says, just updated my HX and Helix to 3.0. Haven't dove into it yet. Thanks for jumping first. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, man. No, you're gonna like it. It's my favorite 2 features so far. I haven't gotten into everything yet because I haven't had time, but is the Horizon Devices Precision Drive, which I think is a genius thing to add to it. Absolutely genius. That was an olive tree to the metal community. Not an olive branch, but an olive tree. Like, thank you. And the favorites folder. I think the favorites folder is one of those things that you'll really learn to appreciate once you start using it, and you'll be like, where has this been all my life? Like, holy crap. Now when I create a preset, I can just drag and drop whatever I want in there. It's labeled how I want it, dialed in how I want it. I don't have to second guess anything. I'm not drag, drop, tweak. It's just drag, drop, drag, drop, drag, drop. That's it. Simple, Sven says, question to the community or Jared, have anyone experienced with the Switchblade using Kettner? I haven't. I haven't had any experience with it yet. One of these days, maybe. Let me do a back and forth on the precision drive again. All right, so let me, just for you guys, I'll do that. Let me pull up the old window capture. Okay, so make sure my volume's down. Oh my God, this amp is loud as hell in the room here. Okay, so here's the real one. If you look up in the folder there at the top leftish area, you'll see the real OD and the Horizon, I believe is what it says there. So when I switch back and forth, that's the one I'm on. All right. So, and I'm going to go ahead and play, and you'll hear no difference between them. Yep, no difference. And again, my hands can't tell the difference either. They really can't. And if you have any doubts, have somebody switch them for you when you're doing a blind test, and you won't know. You really won't. Don't let your mind play tricks on you. It really does sound amazing. Great freaking job on that. I'm super happy with it. And great points, by the way, Jason. Thanks for chiming in with that, because you're right. You can change the pedal and all your snapshots however you want it. You can't do that with the real one, but you can do it with the one in the Helix. And you're saving yourself an effects loop. You know, so now I can put, now I go pedal shopping. Now I got to find something else to put in that effects loop. You know, so yeah, they did. Thank you, Line 6. Seriously, like, Christmas comes early for us this year, and it's definitely it's better than a shiny red bike under the tree. I'll tell you that. You know. Super happy with it. Let's see here. Marv's Llama says, please demonstrate your high gain lead tone, buddy. Oh yeah, I will. For sure, man. For sure. Warmcore says, sounds like they nailed it. Yeah, dude, they did. You can't tell the difference. It's like, it's really good. The thing that I've noticed with some digital pedals in the past, like overdrives, is you have that squish in there, and it's like, oh, it's got that weird squish to it. It doesn't have that attack that I like. Not so with this one. They literally did it right, man. And you know what? It took a while to get this update, but it was worth waiting for. I'd rather have it right than have it now, if that makes sense. You know, just make it right and then give it to me. It's worth waiting for. So I'm very happy with that. Yeah, so let's see here. What guitar do I have? The red one. What do I have that I can play with that? I'm afraid I'm going to snap a string. These strings are getting old. I'm afraid I'm going to break one. Let's see here. Jason says, because it has a gate on it, what other gate settings do you have on the input block, after the amp, or effects loop, or both? Good question. So this amp has a gate on it, and I just have it on because, you know. And then I took my 4-cable method preset, where I have a gate in front of the amp, which is after the overdrive, and then I have another one after the amp to clamp it down as well. But I haven't really had a chance to fine-tune everything yet because of the time constraints. So, but once I get into this and do more fine-tuning, I'll update all of my 4-cable method presets and my other ones that are on Marketplace, and put out some more new ones, because obviously we have the Diezel models, so I want to do those too. Yeah, I'll definitely do that as well. Let me play a couple riffs here. Let me see what I got here. 1 second. Yeah, I definitely have to adjust some gates. As you heard, the notes kept dying on me here and there, but yeah, there's some adjustments I have to make to this patch now because I have that pedal on there. And it is what it is, but I'll make those adjustments. Again, I didn't have any time to do any fine-tuning at all, but the nice thing with the Helix is it's all adjustable. So it's very cool, and every amp is different. Every volume level is different. So it's what. And here's the other thing that's nice is, depending on how loud your amp is, you're going to set your gates up differently depending on the room that you're in, all that. So, and with the Helix, it's so quick and easy to do. And you're never sweating. You're not like, oh God, the show's about to start and I got to adjust something. No big deal. Just go down and adjust it. It's nothing, you know, it's really easy to do. So, but I hope that was a decent lead patch kind of demonstration for you there, Mr. Llama. Yeah, so in a minute here I'll switch to the Diezel presets that I dialed in quickly as well, and maybe do a mix or two on those and see how that goes. Did I see Carrie in here? Hey, what's happening? What's going on? Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's good to play, right? It's always good to play. Let's see here. Gunnerman 54, what's happening, man? Just got up. I should be just getting up because, you know, I was up pretty late last night trying to get all this ready. Aaron Green says, just for fun, speak in the pseudo-sophisticated aristocratic voice.
Oh, yes, the precision drive is lovely. It's so good and refined. You can tweak it in any way you want in the snapshots that you're using. Oh, it just comes in so handy. Oh, I love it, especially for my leads. When I'm playing my leads and doing my shreds and gents. It's so much fun. I just love it so much. Now I'm going to have a spot of tea and enjoy how I've regaled you about how much I love the precision drive in the Helix now. Good job, 9.6, chip chop cheerio and all that crap.
Oh my God, I'm losing my freaking mind. Oh man, Jason Lewis, what did I miss? Well, I did a couple mixes, and I did a comparison with the real overdrive compared to the one that's in the Helix, and again, zero difference. They nailed it to the floor. It's amazing. Steve Venchek, what's happening, man? He said, what the hell, every time I turn on the TV, you're there. I'm everywhere. Oh, Daryl says, oh, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate that. He says, sounds great. Stole your precision drive settings, by the way. Good, man. That's why I put them up there. You're going to love it. You really are. It's just amazing. I thought that dude hated gain.
He's changing his mind, you know. He's changing every once in a while.
You and Misha should get together for an updated Precision Drive commercial with that voice. His original ones are... Oh, yeah, I know. Those were funny. I like those when he wore that weird wig or whatever. That's kind of funny. Oh, man. Let's see here. Sergey? What's happening, Sergey? He says, I just placed an order for a Helix, and my buddy starts talking about 3.0, and then I started looking into it, and now I'm more excited than ever to crack that thing open for the first time. You're getting it at the right time, man. The Helix has always been great, but it's just every update just makes it even better. I love what they did with the Precision Drive. Again, I can't speak too much about the other features as far as the polyphonic stuff because I haven't dug into it enough, so I do not want to speak out of turn. But I really like the favorites folder, and the new diesel amps are pretty cool too. So with that, we put that guy into standby, and there we go. All right, we're all done with Mr. Engl, and now we are going to switch over into direct Helix mode. So what I have to do now is find the preset. Where the hell is it? Ultimate VH4, and then the Mega. Alright, 1 second. Let me do a quick little sound check and make sure I got this right. So that's the VH4, that's the Das Benzenlied, however you say that. Maybe Sven, you can help me out with that. Das Benzenlied, that's what they call it. And it, yeah, sounds good, man. You know, it does the trick. It does what modeling stuff does. It does pretty well. Here are my, let me see if I can pull up my settings on that. So there it is right there. Let me move over to the amp. That's how I have the amp set up. Again, this was quick. I did it this morning. Just like a quick little dial in, and you know, drives at 6.5. You can see all the settings there. I haven't fine-tuned it. I just kind of messed around with it a little bit, and seems like it sounds really good. Pretty good feel. And then I have different effects. I'll play through it, and you can see the different snapshots, I think, when I switch through them. 1 second. Oh, okay, just a little sloppy, crappy playing for you, just to show you what each of the presets or snapshots sound like there. But yeah, just a quick overview. But yeah, sounds good. I think they did a good job with the models. I mean, I always prefer real amps because, I mean, when I play this in the room, the air that this thing pushes. I mean, when I'm playing, when I'm doing palm mutes, my cab's right there. I feel like somebody's just, you know, like in Kickboxer where they gosh, I can't talk today. The Thai boxers kicking me in the leg the whole time. I just feel like I'm getting punished, you know. It's great. But if you're gonna, you know, play an amp model, I mean, these do sound pretty good. They get the job done, you know. They probably sound great on YouTube, on recordings, while you're on stage and stuff like that. They get the job done, and I think they did a great job. And again, I'm very thankful that Line 6 is you know, really paying attention to the metal community as well. I think that the worship community has gotten a lot. I think that the blues guys and the, you know, like the classic rock guys have gotten a lot. And not to say that the metal guys haven't, because we've gotten a lot of stuff as well. But I'm really, I mean, us metal guys are real thankful for this update because of the pedal, you know, the Horizon pedal and the you know, the VH4 amp models, which I think is freaking awesome. I love it. Jason Taylor, thanks, man. I really appreciate it very much. Let's see here. He says, great way to wake up on a Saturday morning. Thanks, Jared. 3.0 looks great. I have to update mine this weekend. Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure. And it does. It looks great. And again, today is an overview of the features that I had time to look into. That's why I changed the thumbnail to the video, because I don't want to lie to you guys. You know, I also don't want to talk about things that I haven't studied enough on yet and dialed in enough. And my biggest concern is to misinform. I never want to misinform anybody. That's one of the biggest things that I worry about. So I'd rather give you information that I know, even if it's just a little bit, rather than misinform you on a bunch of things, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to catch up to you guys here. Did you try the Princeton amp? Aaron Lucas says, no, not yet. It's kind of it's out of my genre, I think, but I'll be happy to try it just to see what it's like for sure, you know. He said, might not be your cup of tea, but you can get some tasty cleans out of it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot, man. Thank you. Jason Taylor says, the great thing about Line 6 and Fractal is that they don't just sell us hardware and move on. They're constantly adding new features and making things better without charging us more money. No, you're right. It's cool. It's a nice thing because, again, it's like Christmas. Like, you open a gift and there it all is. And, and sometimes, like, with the modeling stuff, it is what it is. Like, you can't cater to everybody. Not everybody's going to be as happy as other people with updates, because sometimes, like, the classic rock guys get new amps and the metal guys don't. It's not a big deal. It just happens. But right now, all the metal guys are happy. We got our Diezel, and we got some great effects. So, and the Princeton's in there, too, for guys that want to play that type of music. So, yeah, it's very, very cool. Sean Hockey says, please, guys, you all know how this works. Just hit the thumbs up to help support our boy. He definitely works at what he does. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying this, please hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate that more than I could say. It really means a lot. It helps with the algorithm. I appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I appreciate that as well. And to all my subscribers, seriously, you guys mean the world to me. Me and Carrie, it really means a lot to us to have you here. Christopher, another awesome pajamin with Jared. I remember that when I did the what was it, the Fryette module. I think we did that morning too. That was kind of fun. Yeah. So let's see here. Let me see here. Let me switch guitars. Let me do another mix for you with the VH4 amplifier. Hopefully I didn't get a chance to sound check all my mixes today, so hopefully this will sound good. We'll find out. After this, I gotta go work out. Ooh, I gotta wake up and work out. I got a tune. This thing was in the case. Yeah, so anyways, I'll do a couple mixes or one or two with this, and then I gotta go work out. But I can tell you guys, like, this update is everything that Line 6 promised. They delivered on every level, and they did a great job. I'm proud to be, on their marketplace and all that. I mean, it's great. I'm proud to be affiliated with them. They're doing a killer job on this update. So, and yeah, I do see, and again, I don't know this, I'm just throwing it out there. I do see a need for a new Helix in the future. This one's doing just fine, but can you imagine how much more we could do with more DSP, right? I mean, that would be freaking killer. So, I think that's going to be awesome too. That's going to be really exciting. So, let's see here. Just trying to find something here. Where are you? Here you are. Yeah, let me play a couple riffs and we'll get this one going here. it. Obviously, I need to practice a little bit more today. Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool model. I'm glad they gave it to us. And, again, I got to fine-tune it. I just dialed it in quickly, and it sounds pretty freaking good just for a quick dial-in. You know? And the other one is the other channel. I got to find it, the Mega. So there's that one. Boy, my guitars do not want to stay in tune today. Jeez. But yeah, so there's that channel. I think that's like the probably like the rhythm channel, the crunch channel on the amp. So yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Very happy with everything so far. What's your guys' favorite thing about the update so far? You guys that have updated and played around with it, how have you liked the poly stuff? And have you found any workarounds regarding the DSP? And, you know, have you compared it to other pedals and stuff like that? Because I will be doing that. I will be comparing it to, I have a drop pedal somewhere. It's upstairs. But I'm going to shoot it out with that and see how close it is. I mean, if it's as close as the Horizon Devices pedal is, then they nailed that too. I'm sure they did. They spent a lot of time on this. So, yeah, if you guys have, you know, experienced anything, let me know, like what your favorite parts are. Again, you can't really learn how, you know, the appreciation for the favorites folder is like, once you start using it, you'll be like, holy freaking crap, this is amazing. Like, it's really cool. I love that. Let's see here. Oh, have you had a chance to try the Quad Cortex? Well, thanks to, you know, one of my awesome friends on here, you know, Todd, Chicago Todd, I will be trying one very soon, and I'll let you guys know what I think of that. I'm actually gonna, with that unit, I'm gonna profile the same amp with that and the Kemper and shoot them out and see which one got closer to the amp and all that. So we'll have a fun time with that too. I don't know if they're out yet though, so they're shipping soon, but Xavier, what's happening? He says, sounds great. Thank you. Really articulate sounding. Yeah, thank you. If I play it right, sometimes I, you know, botch it up. I botched up a couple parts on that, but yeah, that's a crazy lead. 1 second here. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that bumblebee feel to it. I call it the drunken bumblebee because I can't play it very good sometimes. So, but yeah, it's a fun lead to play, man. keeps your fingers warmed up, that's for sure. Let's see here. Oh, Daryl says he loves the precision drive, but also the preset spillover command center. And 2 more blocks in the stomp and favorites. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I love the spillover and command center. Guys, I'm telling you, if you haven't tried command center yet, you're freaking nuts. That is like the biggest... that is actually like... So you got snapshots, right? That was a huge thing. Well, command center is snapshots on crack, steroids, and acid. I mean, it's just... ridiculous. So it's like one of the best features that the Helix has ever done. It's so handy. You could do anything. You could turn any switch into anything. You could turn it into a preset, a stomp, snapshot. You can make it momentary. You can make it so that when you push down, it does this, and when you let off, it does that. It'll take you back to things. I mean, it's so flexible. It's the most flexible. It's like the equivalent of me picking up the Helix right now, blowing it up like a balloon, and turning it into whatever balloon animal you want. And actually riding if I turn it into a pony, I could ride the damn thing up the stairs. I mean, that's literally what it's like. If I could give you a visual of what HX Command or Command Center is, that's what it is. It's like that flexible, that crazy. Like, it's awesome. You could do anything with it. It's so freaking cool. You know, so you're right. That's a great feature, man. I don't give it enough praise. I really don't. Let's see here. Oh, Marty5, what's going on? He says Polyphonics is really good. Uses a lot of DSP, but simple route on it, 2 channels, and tweak the hell out of it. Yeah. Yeah, you really do. You have to do a simple kind of path with it, I think. The signal path has to be pretty clear. I started messing with it this morning, and I was like, I don't have enough time to give somebody a really good take on this, so I don't even want to, you know, misinform anybody. So I decided to hold off on the polyphonic stuff today. But yeah, whatever insights you guys have on it, you know, feel free to share them, because I'll definitely take those into consideration for me as well. Christopher, I've been feeling the gas lately. New amp and cab, new guitar, new Helix. Every time I'm here, you simply leaves me with something, those questions with yes. Yeah, dude, I mean, I love all this stuff. I really do. Like, when I fired up my Engl this morning, I was like, oh man, boy, did I miss this thing. Yeah, I love coming down here and firing up whatever and pairing it with the Helix and having fun with it. It's a lot of fun, you know. Jason says, is the poly stuff modeled after a particular pedal or Line 6 creation? That's a good question. I think the drop tune or the poly tuner is modeled after the drop tune by I think it was Digitech, and I think it's modeled after that, which a lot of people swear that's one of the best drop tuning pedals out there. I have it and I've used it, and it's great. It's a great pedal. Like, if you're gonna go on tour, or let's say you have a show tonight and you just don't want to bring all your guitars, you know, you didn't have time to change strings on that one drop tune guitar because you've been working or whatever, and you don't want a chance, you know, blowing a string out on it. Put the poly tuner in there. It'll get you through the show, and it'll sound good. You know, it's such a great tool. There's people that go on tour and they bring 2 guitars, one main one backup, as opposed to one for each tuning, and they can use the tuner and get through the show. You know. Let's see here. Oh, so Daryl said the release notes say they're originals. Interesting. Oh, that's right. They did. You're right. They did bring in some of the poly guys from Yamaha or whatever to help them out with that. I remember now. I remember talking to Eric Klein about that, and they said they got some guys that know the tuning stuff like better than anybody, all the poly stuff, and they're helping them out with all that. So that's awesome, man. Well, that's cool that they're original then. I kind of like that even more. It's like a new take on it. Yeah, sweet, man. I can't wait to get more involved in that either. You know, to check out the poly tuning. I don't see what I did is I ended up tuning all my guitars to whatever I need. Like, this is 2.5 step down than that, and this also has a drop. You know, this is drop. What is this? I don't know what it is. Drop G sharp. You know. So, you know, and I just ended up retuning all my guitars. So, but I'll still test the poly stuff for you guys because I'm interested. The other thing I want to test as well is the what the hell's that called? It's like on Kemper it's called freeze, but on this it's called poly. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I gotta look it up now. Poly sustain. Yeah, that's it. Poly sustain. Yep. So I'm gonna do some stuff with that. I'm very interested in seeing how that works. That is a great feature. So if you can make that work, you can create a pad underneath, you know, what you're playing. So you can like hit a chord if you got some reverb and some chorus and like a clean chord and some delay on it. You just rake out a chord and then you hit that poly sustain button and it'll just hold it out. And you can make it shimmer. You can do different things with it. And then you can use it for a pad to play over and practice over. So if you want to get used to a certain key, or what I do a lot of times, I'll write, because I don't know theory. I don't know anything about theory at all. I don't know what that note is. Well, that's actually a G. but I don't know what this note is. I don't know what that note is. I feel like Ben Affleck on that spaceship when they were blasting up that aeroid. It's just button. I don't know what that does. That's what I am. See that note? I don't know what that's called. But yeah, that's kind of what it is for me. So when I'm writing a solo and I got to do a run, let's say I got to do a run over a certain chord, like a E or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I want to do a cool, like, you know, really fast blazing run over that. So I'll take whatever product I'm playing through. If it's got a looper or like a freeze or something like that, I'll hit that chord and I'll loop it in a way where it sounds beautiful and it sounds like it's very inspiring to play over. It's not, and you don't hear that repeat, that stupid line where it kind of repeats. But with the freeze button or with the poly sustain, it doesn't do that. It's just a pad. So what's nice about that is that you got this awesome pad now that you can play over. There's nothing distracting about it. It's actually very inspiring and lush and beautiful sounding. And you could sit there and play over it all day to find that right run or whatever that you wanted to put there, and then you go back into writing the rest of your solo on the backing track or whatever, you know. So it does come in handy. It really does. I've used that feature many times to get me out of jams, to figure out what kind of you know, run or riff or whatever I want to do over a certain chord. Because again, I don't know theory to save my life, you know. So it really helps with that kind of stuff. I just think it's a great writing tool. And the thing is, with a lot of these features, we have to look at them as tools a lot of times too, because that's what they are in a lot of ways. It's not always going to be this like, oh, this cool thing that's going to change the music industry forever. Sometimes it's just a very handy tool that when you need it, you're super grateful that it's there. And I have to give a lot of credit to tools like that have given me a way to write solos the way that I write them and get real creative with it, as opposed to phoning it in and going, well, I don't have time to deal with this right now, so I'm just going to put this riff there, and that's good enough, you know. As soon as you say that, you've given up and you've phoned it in. With tools like that, it allows you to not phone it in, because A, it has to be easy to use, B, it has to function well, and C, it has to inspire. If it does all three of those things, use it. You know, it's amazing. You don't ever want to be frustrated while you're writing solos or writing songs, because that frustration just kills the vibe, and now you don't want to do it anymore, you know? So anytime that those three things come into play with the tool that any of these products give us, it's awesome, and you really appreciate it when it's time to, you know, to use it. You know, it inspires a lot of good stuff. So let me see here. Catch up to you guys for a second here. I'll be getting out of here in a few. Marty5 says, just route the first signal route with the polyphonics to the second channel where you place your amp and IRs looped in the effects. Reverb goes to the DAW anyway. Yeah. No, you're right. See, that's what I was going to do. I was going to put all the poly stuff on top and then route that, you know, the little arrow down to the second line where the amp and all the other stuff is. That's thanks for sharing that for everybody. Appreciate that, because that's what you have to do, you know. Polly want a cracker? Oh my god, that's funny. Oh man. Mathis, your video will look like they were made by a camera with 10 FPS, frames per second, which is pity because otherwise I like them. Your video still look like. Oh, yeah, it's. I got an HD camera down here. I got a DSLR, bro. I mean, I don't know what the frames per. It's not 10 frames per second though. It's a lot more than that. But I mean, I don't know. It depends. Doing my best here. Oh, Sergey says, good to know I'm not the only one who doesn't know jack squat about theory. Gives me hope. Yeah, dude, seriously, I don't know anything about theory. If you put a gun to my head and I had to explain theory to you, I'd just say pull the trigger, because I really don't know anything. I mean, everything I do is trial and error, happy accidents. You know, that's just the way it is, you know. And I honestly feel like for me, being my age and playing as long as I have, I don't want to learn it now because I don't want to be put in a box. It would force me to always go, yeah, but I'm not supposed to do that. Oh, I'm breaking the rules. No, it's wrong. And I would always have that inner argument in my head. I don't want to do that. I just want to play. And I want to play stuff that just sounds good to me. And I like the Eddie Van Halen theory. If it sounds good, it is good. You know, and I just don't want to be in a box. Now, other people that use theory to their advantage, those are the people that should learn theory because they want to know those things. I don't. I have a don't look down theory. As long as I don't look down, I won't get scared. You know what I mean? That's how it is with me, you know? I just don't want, because theory would force me to look down. I would see how high up I was, and I would start clinging to things and like playing out of fear as opposed to just reckless abandon, you know? So like with me, I'm on the tightrope right now with a tricycle juggling chainsaws that are on fire, you know what I mean, while playing video games. So it's like, it's awesome, you know, and if I learned theory, it would be like me like putting all that stuff away and concentrating on riding my bike, you know. I don't want to do that. And the other thing too is a lot of stuff that I do, I was in a band a long time ago with a guy, another guitar player who was a fantastic guitar player, and he knew theory backwards and forwards. And I would ask him from time to time, like, you know, this is what I'm doing with my lead over this part of the song. Does that work? He's like, well, theoretically, you're not supposed to do that, but it sounds good, so just do it. Who cares? And he was always the safe guy. He always played. He was very good, very tasteful player, very tasteful writer, and everything he did was right in the box where it should be. Nothing wrong with that. But I was the crazy one. You know, it's like I was the guy doing all the crazy stuff and all the out of the box stuff, and and I'm not bragging, I'm just saying that you know, both of us had our strong points, you know, and with me, I feel like I was more the circus animal, doing all the funny stuff, the crazy stuff, and I had a lot of fun, you know. I could take chances, and I didn't even know I was taking them because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But again, in my mind, it sounded good. In my ears, it sounded good. That's really good. Okay, you guys know it's a really good quality. Good. Yeah, it shouldn't be bad. I mean, I watch all these videos back. I mean, trust me, I spent a lot of money on this camera, and it's like upgrading the hell out of this studio and all this, and it's like, it's not 10 frames per second, I can tell you that. It's probably 30, 40 something. I know I got to up that eventually, but it's a lot of work doing all that stuff. It must be a connection. You guys are right, because I watched these back, and trust me, if it looked that bad, I'd be upgrading again or fixing it. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for letting me know. Chicago Todd, Drats, I just joined. I hope that diesel amp is good. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I'll play a little more for you. I don't have a problem with that. Berserker Land Studios, I learned theory so I could eventually not think about writing with theory in mind. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, you got to do what works best for you, you know what I mean? And I totally get it when the guys that know theory, like, see, the problem with not knowing theory is I can't sit in on anything. My greatest fear is to be sitting there and then they're like, hey, man, you want to sit in on a song? I'd be like, no. I'll play like 37 wrong notes and, you know, 28 questionable ones and 10 good ones. You know, all of my writing sessions are terrible. They're embarrassing. Video looks fine. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, it should be good, you know. Blu-ray. Oh, awesome. That's good. All right, thanks for letting me know, guys. It must be a connection issue on the other guy's side there. I would play a couple riffs for Chicago Todd since he got here. He just got here. So this is the fork. This is the Das Benson lead preset right here. Hang on. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my guitars today. It must be the temperature change. This thing sat in the case for a couple days. I just got back from the studio from recording new mixes. This thing is like, oh my god, it's way out of tune right now. Horrible representation of everything right now. It's flat and shit. It's all over the place. It's so weird. Hang on. Yeah, a couple of crappy riffs for you just to show you what it sounds like. But yeah, they did a pretty good job on that. I mean, again, I'm an amp guy. I like the amps. I like the 4-cable method version of the Helix. That's my favorite way of using it. But the amp models in here do sound pretty freaking good, don't they? You know, and they feel decent. So if you're excited about that, I don't blame you. You know, go get them, and I'll be making some presets with these very soon and putting them on Marketplace on my little section of their store there. And I'll be dialing in all the effects again. I'll be having a favorites folder and putting them up on Marketplace as well. And you can just literally drag and drop them and trust that they will sound really good in any mix for you. You might have to do a little fine tuning depending on what other instruments you're playing with and the levels, but they should get you at least 80% there most of the time. So let's see here. Let's see here. Jim Sieben, what's going on, buddy? Super Gigawatt, what's happening? What is the hardest amp in that room to dial in? Probably a cross between the Marks and the Engl. The Engl took a bit because of all the switches and knobs on it, but once you get there, I'm not kidding you, it's worth every second. It's worth it, all the effort, because they sound amazing. The reason why is they're just different. You know, they're just so different. Like the Mark Series amps, you got the post EQs, and that's what throws a lot of people off. Is I actually, if you dig for it, I did a dial in with the Engl on all the channels and on the Mark 525. I'm going to do the JP soon and the Cherrytone, but the biggest secret to dialing in these amps is use your ears, not your eyes, because you're going to do stuff with some of these amps that make no sense with your eyes, but with your ears, it's like you're going to look at the knob and be like, that doesn't make sense, but I love that, but should I? It's kind of an extreme setting, and it's like, well, that's the potentiometer on that amp. That's where it's supposed to go, you know? And a lot of people will dial in the Mark Series, not taking into consideration that the EQ has a big say over the final sound. It's like the mastering section of the amplifier. So they'll dial it in standard, and then they'll wonder why it sounds like an AM radio. And they're like, man, it's just no balls. It's kind of dry and dull sounding. And then they'll turn on the EQ and go, yeah, but should I have to use that? It's like, yeah, that's what it's there for, bro. So, you know, and you don't set the EQ up with everything at noon and tweak from there. You set it up in a V shape and then dial everything else in kind of like a standard thing, noon and little tweaked here and there, and then you fine tune everything from there. So it's all, yeah, they're all pretty unique, but one of the easiest ones to dial in was the EVH and the MT15. Simple, you know, very straightforward amps. Yeah, Super Gigawatt, the Mark V isn't really that hard. Yeah, once you understand the EQ on the Mark V, it's easy, but a lot of people don't get it. They just look at it and go, what's that all about, you know? So you're right, though. Once you understand that, it's simple, you know? Um, yeah, it seems pretty decent for a Helix model, Chicago Test says. Yeah, it's good. It'll get you through a show. If you have to do some recording with it, it'll work. Uh, you know, I think it would sound fine. You know, again, I'm an amp guy, and I think that the models are good. They're good, but I'm always going to prefer an amp anyways. Even if it's a Kemper, Axe Effects, Neural, doesn't matter. I always prefer an amp. You know, that's just me, my opinion. You know. Um, Sergey says, my friend is a guitar teacher, and he tried to cram me with the music theory, and it just doesn't compute. I just love to learn it just for the cause of being able to work my way through fretboard. But yeah, it's a foreign language and takes a very long time to learn. No, you're right. It is. It's too foreign for me too. Here's what I want to learn. I want to learn a riff. Teach me a riff, and I'll find where I can put it in a song. Like, that's what I love about Robert Baker's videos, is that he'll be like, here's 5 cool riffs, and he'll be like, here they are. And I'll learn them, and then I'll just apply them how I want to with whatever it is that I'm working on. Like, oh, so I learned it here, but I need it to be here in the song that I'm playing. It's no big deal. It's the same shape. I'm just moving it up. Or sometimes I'll have to change the shape because I'm going from minor to major, or vice versa, and I don't know which note I gotta fix, but I'll find it, and then I'll go, oh, I gotta hit that now instead of this. So it's pretty simple, you know. Like I said, it's just gotta fit with my ears. It's gotta sound good, and then I'm like, all right, I'll make that change, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but it sounds good. That's all I care about. It's kind of like the Naked Chef thing, you know. What's your recipe for this? I don't know. I just put a little of this, a little bit of that, some of those things in there, and yeah, it turned out pretty good. If you asked me to write it down, I wouldn't know what to tell you. I don't know how much of each thing. I just kept stirring and tasting until it tasted right. I wish I would have wrote it down, because I'd love to repeat this again. But that's kind of how it is, you know. As long as it turns out good, who gives a crap, right? Let's see here. Let me make sure I covered everything today as well. I'll make sure I did right by you guys. Horizon devices, favorites, and the 2 Diezel amp models. Yeah, so I did cover everything that I set out to do. So I'm going to wrap up in a couple minutes here. If there's any other questions or comments or anything that people want me to test real quick that's within, you know, what I was supposed to cover today, I'll be happy to do that for you. And I'm going to get some food and go to the gym. Oh, my coffee's cold too. That's fun. Sergey says the other thing is that I've heard of people who have learned and know theory, but if you take away the music sheet, they freeze. Yep, they're in a cell until they have something in front of them. Yeah, that happens. It really does, you know. I mean, the wonderful thing about playing by ear, they both have their strong points, you know. You know, and there's a lot of guitar players out there that are world-class players that actually have, you know, instructional videos out. And the thing is if you look at the behind the scenes on how the video was made, they actually have a guitar teacher sitting like across from them, because they'll be like, okay, so we're going to play this riff in C sharp, and the guy's like, no, that's a B. Oh, yeah, in B, you know, and like, and they'll even ask the guy, like, okay, so this sweep here that I'm doing, what key is that in? Like, oh, that's in this key, you know, is that a major? What mode is that? And they'll actually have to just repeat it. And they're just doing that, and it's not like a bad thing. They're trying to teach you, but they don't know. They're just trying to teach you their riffs, but they need someone to help them tell you, like, what that riff actually is, what key it's actually in, what mode it's in, so that for the learned that's watching this, they understand, you know. But it's amazing when you watch some of these world-class players that you think, oh, these guys went to GIT or they went to Berkeley and they know everything. They don't know squat, man. They learned all their stuff from their Uncle Gary, You know, and now they're just kind of applying that to whatever, and they go on YouTube like we do and just steal riffs off of people and make them their own. That's all we do. Music is the art of thieves. So, yeah, it's interesting. I would say that most of the guitar players that are amazing don't know theory. And there's some that, I'm not saying that, you know, not knowing theory makes you amazing, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that if we look at them, we put them on this pedestal where it's like, this guy knows everything. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know, he probably doesn't know any more than you do. He just practiced a lot and had a lot of happy accidents to make that solo work. You know, it's just kind of the way it is. I can't take credit for a lot of things that I do. I hear it in my head and I try to put it on the fretboard, or I bump into it while I'm riffing and I'm like, oh, that's a cool riff. I'll put that in there, you know? It's kind of how it works. Sergey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Jared, for the riffs and for the conversation. You're welcome, man. Really appreciate you guys being here. Could you do the new song? Rekonda said. I like that riff. Yeah, I can do that again for you guys. Oh, let me switch guitars because that would be a travesty. Let me see. I'll end with that. How's that? See if I can actually play it properly. I hope I do. I hope I don't end the stream on a sour note, literally, by not playing the new song right. I'll do it with the Diezel module, or the Diezel, whatchamacallit, model. Right, where is that song? Okay. All right. Okay, Chicago Todd, was that Diezel preset with the Horizon? Yes, it is. Yep, I got the Horizon in here, and dude, I'm telling you, Todd, the Horizon, they nailed it. They did such a great job with it. It sounds amazing. Super Gigawatt, like Eddie Van Halen once said, music theory is only theory, not fact. That's actually a good point. It really is. He couldn't read music, and look what look how badass he was. No, you're right. Seriously, like it you don't have to have it, you know. All right, let me see what we got here. Hang on. Tried to hold that note out. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, it sounded pretty good. It felt good to play. I thought the leads were pretty articulate in that as far as the sound goes. The amp had a nice articulation to it, the amp model. So, yeah, the effects, everything. So keep an eye out for I'm going to be working with Line 6 on getting a favorites of all the effects that I use, and maybe even some that I use, like some that I'll use a lot, some I use occasionally. I'll put those in there, and they'll be available for purchase sometime soon. You can just drag and drop them. You don't have to do anything. You just drag and drop, put them where you want them, and you're good. They'll sound great in the mix, and I think it'd be kind of fun to dial those in for you guys, including the new overdrive pedal and some modded delay stuff, all that stuff. It'll be all tried and true when you get them. So, Return Dakota, thanks for the super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see here, Marty 5. This 3.0 update saves me 800 in pedals. Now I can go shop for a new guitar. Isn't that awesome, man? It's great, man. It really is. Chicago Todd, just updated my stomp. Can't wait to bring this to rehearsal tomorrow and check it out. Yeah, dude. It really does sound amazing. I love it. They did a great job with it. Let's see here, Sergey 45, because we don't need food or warmth. We just need our guitars. Yeah, that's right, man. Let's see. Grizos 25, what's going on, man? He says, can demonstrate the channel and snapshot preset switching ability on the HX Stomp with 3-channel amp. The HX Stomp now feels like it would fit hand in glove with a 3-channel amp and 4-cable method. Yeah, as soon as I get my Stomp back, a friend of mine's borrowing it right now, and when I get it back, I'm going to do some Stomp videos, so I'll be happy to do that for you. Let's see, awesome show as always. Sean says thank you. Christopher, awesome time as always. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys, well, you guys had a lot of other things you could have done today, and I'm honored and privileged to have you all here. I hope this was worth it for you as much as it was for me. As time goes by, I'll be putting out more updates about the 3.0 update. I'll just do some quick produced videos. I'll take them one feature at a time when I get time to do them. And again, I really appreciate the fact that you guys hung out with me today. It's awesome. It feels weird because it's like daytime. I'm going to go upstairs and it's going to be bright out instead of dark after the show's over. It's going to be unusual, but I'm going to get some food and head to the gym. Again, thank you so much. And Line 6, you're awesome. Thank you so much for the update. Great job so far. Everything's exactly how it should be. It's freaking awesome. So look forward to doing some more content about this in the future. And Carrie and I will be live tomorrow night at 7 Eastern Standard Time. And maybe we'll cover a couple more things. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thanks a lot, guys. Marty5 says thank you. It was awesome seeing you guys today. You guys made my day. Seriously, more than I could say. God bless you guys. Every day's a gift.